Good morning, everyone. It's your case.
Hello.
Hi, Ellie. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. It's your caseworker for credit or from Dreamers Together. And alongside me, we have my teammate, accredited representative, Elizabeth Royas. We are live and we will be answering any general AOS questions that you may have. Just please keep in mind that if you have any DACA related or AP related questions, head on over to that group and they can further assist you in that group with your questions. Let's see here. So, Ellie, any exciting news?
Um, Everything for the most part is going really good. I will say that at the beginning of the year, whenever we had this new administration come in, I thought we were going to see everything slow down, and that's not actually been the case. I've had cases that they're moving pretty quickly compared to what they were prior to this administration. So, you know, everything is going pretty good for the most part. And the reason I say for the most part is even after some of these interviews, I still am waiting on some approvals, and it's been weeks, months. So that's kind of the only iffy thing about this administration. But yeah, how about your side? How's everything going?
Everything's going good so far. I'm in the same boat. Basically, I have some cases that are still pending after the interview. Some of them weeks, some of them months. Unfortunately, all we have to do is wait. That's all we can do. Even if we were to file an inquiry, I did file an inquiry on one of my cases that has been pending after an interview for a decision for 4 months now. And I did get a reply from USCIS, and they replied by stating that the case is not out of normal processing times. So clearly, it is taking them more than 4 months on some cases to actually make a decision after the interview. I do, however, on another note, I have a case that has been pending, an AOS case that has been pending for more than a year. I reached out to my client and I advised her to contact USCIS to file an inquiry. She did contact USCIS. She called them about 2 days ago or so. And they instructed her to contact them today, as today is the day that her case is officially out of the normal processing time, which is pretty good. I guess, the fact that they told her, hey, listen, call us back in about 2 days, that is when your case is officially out of the normal processing time. And like I said, their case has been well over a year. So for those of you that have an AOS case that has been pending for over a year, reach out to USCIS. You can call them, you can go onto their website, you can chat with Emma, and she can connect you to a live agent and, give them your receipt date and, let them know that your case is still processing and they will let you know if you can file an inquiry or not. If they do not let you file an inquiry and they let you know that your case is not out of the normal processing dates, then ask them, when can I file an inquiry or call you back? Like I said, I do have a case that is pending for over a year, and she did reach out to them, and them they told them to reach out today and inquire about their case because today is the official date that their case is out of normal processing times. So that just shows you that they're in some cases they're taking well over a year.
That's very good information because I have a case and theirs has been processing for 9 months. I actually tried to do an out of normal processing time inquiry for them yesterday, and the system, the way the USCIS system is so funny because we get on the website out of normal processing time inquiry. It lets you add in all of your information, all of their information, but when you hit that submit button, that's when it decides, oh no, you're still within normal processing time, so you
Yeah.
can't even submit that inquiry. But give USCIS a call. Continue to call. Sometimes it does put pressure, and sometimes it doesn't, but it doesn't hurt to try. Give them a call, chat with Emma.
You never know, again, what officer you might get. You might get an officer that really wants to go back and check or gives you more information. Um, or you might get an officer that says, no, you're not out of normal processing times yet. Please try again within a few months or so.
Continue
Um,
to try, definitely.
yes, yes. And Ellie, have any of your clients gotten, you know, have any of your clients been approved after you've submitted the RFE response? That whole mess with them wanting um, the 864, even though the client has the 10 years and the 40 credits, and now they're RFEing you and you respond to that RFE response. So have any of your clients received the green card they've gotten an approval after submitting the RFE? And obviously it takes a while for them to get the interview, but once they get to the interview, have any of your clients gotten their approvals?
Thankfully, yes. I think I've had like 3 or 4 cases where
Good.
this was like at the very beginning, whenever they put those 2 forms together back in December of 2024, they took away the I-864W, which was where we usually ask for that exemption. They put that now on page 8 of the I-485. And I didn't send the new forms until later. And I did get a few RFEs. We didn't even know we were going to be getting the RFEs, right? It was like
Correct.
everybody started getting these RFEs. I
Yes.
was really skeptical about sending that information back because I didn't want to get a notice of intent to deny, but we were told, hey, it's okay. Send the 40 credits again, and we did. And it took about 4 or 5 months for most of my clients to get an interview, and they are now approved. The only thing we sent back was that page 8 of the I-485 where it's marked, I am requesting for exemption from the I-864 affidavit of support because I have my credits with Social Security Administration. We wrote a letter saying how they were exempt, and we added the Social Security statement showing the 40 credits and the 10 years of work history. And we've been very successful. I think you have had some successful stories
Yes.
as well.
I have, and I followed the same protocol after receiving the RFE, the same protocol, a letter, letting them know that this individual does indeed have the 10 years and the 40 credits. We were letting them know that we were attaching the SSA statement and page 8 of the I-485, uploaded it to their USCIS online account, received an interview.
Mhm.
They were not asked any questions about the 10 years and the 40 credits at the interview. They were approved.
That's awesome. So for those of you, I think we still continue to see not as much as we
Yes.
were because I think
No.
and now we're starting to see the approval. So we know that hey, if you're going to be submitting your 40 credits, you truly have them. It's going to probably delay it a little bit, but you're still going to be approved, of course, taking in
Yes.
consideration that you don't have any issues in the back. Um, but yeah, if you have 40 credits and you don't make enough or your petitioner doesn't make enough, you can't find a joint sponsor to avoid the RFP for 40 credits. Send in your 40 credits. It will
Yes.
delay it just by a few months, but it doesn't mean that they're going to intend to deny. Now, if that were the case, which I haven't had any issues, the only thing we've gotten were RFEs. I had never got an intent of to deny the case. But if that were the case, USCIS can make mistakes. You can always
Yes.
appeal those, especially when it's an error on USCIS. So don't worry.
Yes, and I just want to, you know, let, let you guys know that I did receive an intent to deny. It was an error. We also, we also deal with intent to denies here. It's very rare for us. We submitted, the proper documentation, and, you know, I let them know that it was on, the error was, stemming from them. Obviously, you have to be careful the way you respond to RFEs and intent to denies. You can't just flat out say you're wrong. No. Obviously, you would let them know, originally this and this and this was submitted, which was sufficient. But, if you are asking for this and this and this, we've submitted this as well. So really, you have to be careful how you answer RFEs and intent to denies. You can't just flat out say you're wrong. Um, If you guys need any help with your RFEs, or if God forbid you get an intent to deny, reach out to us, book a Q&A, and see if we can help you guys out with those. Okay.
Very
Just
time
please,
sensitive.
yeah. And again, be careful how you answer those, because you never want to say you're wrong. You want to go back and check all your documentation and just resubmit or submit additional documentation. You know, read the letters and see what they're looking for. And Ellie, obviously, we are still seeing interviews. Nothing's changed. Everyone's getting them. So, on the positive note, yes, everyone's getting them, but they are working out. And make sure you have all your originals with you and any updated marital evidence as well. When you get that notice for an interview, please follow the direction. USCIS literally lets you know what you have to take with you on there. And obviously, a little piece of advice is just, you know, take everything that you submitted with your AOS packet, okay? Birth certificates, passports, children's birth certificates, okay? Sometimes they're not always submitted with the packet. That's okay. Just take them with you because the officer might ask for them. All right, Ellie. So shall we get to some more questions and then we'll talk about the exciting news of going to Houston?
Yes.
All right, let's see. VNA. Hello. I have a question. Okay, so go ahead, throw your question in the box and we'll get to it. Hi, Soledad. When doing AOS, are they asking for letters from family members or friends stating that we have good conduct, or do you have an idea? Um, do you have any idea? Also, can you explain a little bit more about how does explain a little more, explain a little bit more how does the 40 credits? Okay, so she wants to know if they are asking for letters from family members or friends stating that they have good conduct. Um, they don't. They don't ask for them. If you want to put a good conduct, a good moral conduct character letter in, you can. It's not going to hurt you. Um, you can also put in affidavits of family or friends supporting the marriage, and they can speak about your character and your good moral conduct in those letters. And then a little bit about the 40 credits. Ellie, I'll hand that over to you.
So the 40 credits, those that are employed, those people that are employed, if you are employed, you're paying into Social Security. Either your employer reports it monthly or they report these the earnings, Social Security earnings, quarterly. Okay, so you're paying into Social Security, you're paying into retirement. If one day you ever retire and you're eligible, you'll be able to draw retirement, right? So you're paying into Social Security, you get one credit per every quarter worked. So in one year, you're going to get 4 credits if you worked, if you paid into Social Security, and of course, there is a minimum that you have had to have made in order to have earned these credits. What USCIS is looking into is if you've worked long enough to draw Social Security benefits, and if you have worked long enough, you will have 40 credits. That proves to USCIS, hey, this person has worked long enough. They don't need financial support. They can financially support themselves. They're not going to be a burden to the US. So when you have those 40 credits, you can file for an exemption saying, I don't need a financial sponsor. You still need a petitioner, but you don't need that financial sponsor, that person that's going to be responsible for you financially if you're unemployed. With the 40 credits, it's enough. What we're seeing now with USCIS is that those that are using the 40 credits, they are getting an RFE. So that's kind of what we were talking about at the beginning of the video. If you weren't here for the beginning of the video, rewind a little bit, and we were explaining about getting RFEs for the 40 credits. But 40 credits, 10 years worked with your valid employment authorization document, 1 credit per every quarter worked for a total of 10 years and 40 credits. If you have those, you can file an exemption. Page 8, you will select where it says I am filing to be exempt because I have 40 credits, okay? And you don't need a financial sponsor. You still need a petitioner, but you don't need that financial sponsor. And I hope that cleared it off. It's a
Yep.
lot to explain.
Yeah.
We did a
Also,
whole video on that. Go ahead.
sometimes some individuals don't know if they have the 10 years and the 40 credits. I actually just put it in the chat box for you guys. Go to ssa.gov, and in there you'll be able to download your SSA statement and check for those 10 years and 40 credits.
Yes. Now, what if you don't have the 40 credits? Your petitioner will have to make enough. If they don't make enough, you can combine income. If you don't make enough, even by combining, you'll have to find a joint sponsor.
Correct. Thank you, Ali. This one's for you, Elle.
Rayo, Rayo, ¿cómo está? Dice, hola Eli, me dio gusto saludarla el otro día. Tengo una pregunta acerca de la carta que tenemos que hacerle a mi hijo donde él vive con nosotros. No habrá problema si nosotros no contamos con documentos y más o menos cómo sería. Rayo, me dio mucho gusto conocerla también durante la consulta de su hijo. Un poquito más información sobre eso en general. Este, en general, generalmente hablando. Si las personas que van a hacer una petición con inmigración no tienen alguna documentación especificando que ellos tienen un contrato de alquiler o tienen una cuenta hipotecaria, nosotros les recomendamos que si viven con familiares, que esos familiares escriban una carta diciendo, Juanito y Juanita viven con nosotros desde tal fecha. Si las personas que van a escribir esta carta son indocumentadas, no se preocupen, pueden escribirla, lo único que les pedimos y les recomendamos es de que notaricen la carta. Notaricen la carta, no tienen que poner su estatus legal, solamente si tienen que poner su nombre, dónde viven con la persona que está haciendo esta petición y notarícenla para que no tengan que mandar una identificación con foto para probar que son personas reales. Generalmente no va a tener ningún problema. Es solamente para nuevamente tratar de demostrar dónde es donde vive la persona quien va a hacer esta petición. Y lo pedimos cuando no hay algún documento, hipoteca, algún contrato de alquiler. So Rayo is asking that her son is going to be doing a process, and she, as the mom or as a family member, they were asked to get letters written for living arrangements, but family is undocumented. So don't worry, if family is undocumented, have it notarized so that you don't have to send in a photo ID. Generally, when there is no written lease agreement or mortgage statements for the person that's going to be doing a petition, we do ask that just to prove to USCIS what is the current living arrangements. Where do you live? Who do you live with? Is it true that you live with your spouse, or is it true that you live at this address? So, just very it's understandable to be concerned right now with the current immigration climate, but you shouldn't have any issues.
Thank you, Ellie.
You're
Um,
welcome.
there's another thing I want to touch base with you guys. So basically, once you submit your packet to USCIS and it's now been a month and you have not received your receipt notices in the mail, okay, go into your USCIS online account. All right, if your receipt notices are not in your USCIS online account, then reach out to USCIS, either by chatting with Emma and she can connect you to an agent, or call them and let them know that you have not received a notice and you can't track your case or view your case, and that way they can further assist you, okay? Again, if you have not received the receipt notice after submitting your case to USCIS and you're unable to view your case in your account, reach out to USCIS either by chatting with Emma and she'll connect you to an agent, or call them. And there was another question that I see that we are asked. Um, Once you submit your AOS packet and you go through your journey and you receive your green card, you are waiting, for those of you that do request a new Social Security card, you're waiting for that card. If you do not receive it within the month, just make an appointment, go to your local Social Security office. Obviously, you're going to have your green card with you, and go to the office and get your Social Security card if you do not receive it in the mail after receiving your green card. So, those are just a few tips.
No questions today. We have a few more minutes.
It's a quiet day.
Ask away. It's a Wednesday. Everybody's kind of, it's the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Ask your questions.
So,
If you
Ellie,
don't feel comfortable, go ahead. Mhm.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. I was going to ask your opinion on something. I'm sure it's not just with my cases, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers are having the same issue where, they submitted their AOS case with permission to work and permission to travel. I mean, what ends up happening is they get their green card approved, and the I-131 and the I-765, USCIS terminates those. They do not refund you money, guys. So if you submit your AOS packet and you submit an I-131 permission to travel while your green card is pending and I-765 permission to work, just know that if you end up getting your green card first, they're not going to refund you the money for your I-765 and your I-131. They're just going to terminate those cases.
What I have been doing, because I have been seeing this last year, or when combo cards were free, they were free. If USCIS to approve them, good. If they didn't, it was also good, because there was no cost associated to it. So once there started being a cost associated with I-131 and the I-765, for some cases they were like, yes, I need to travel, I want to travel, and we applied for it, and they never got it. It never was approved, money lost. So when we started seeing that trend, I actually did start telling my clients, do you need to travel? Can you wait in the US while your green card is pending? If you can, save 630. Don't apply for the I-131 because it may not be approved. And if it's not approved, you're not going to get your money back.
Correct. They'll just terminate the cases.
For I-765 work permit, it's not a bad idea too. It's $260 for 5 years. It's not a bad idea too, especially if you are in Texas. And the reason why I tell my Texans that is because Texas Fifth Circuit Court ruled that they're going to be taking away the E80 with DACA, but they're going to keep DACA protection, but they're not going to be issued. When will it take effect? We don't know. It's still going on. When will it be implemented? We just don't know. So is there a probability of that happening? Yes, of course there is, because that's what was ruled. So that's kind of why I am telling my Texans, if you're in Texas, you definitely want to apply for it. If you're in another state, you probably could get away with not even applying the I-765. But USCIS doesn't give refunds. They did the job, they took your money,
Yeah.
even with denials.
Yep.
Okay, so we have just a few more minutes. You said you had some great news for us.
Yes, I'm sure our viewers have heard by now that we are going to Houston. Yes, we are. We are going to Houston, and we are going to be, um, booking consultations. And, for those of you that are interested, go onto our website, book your consultation with us in Houston. And after your booking, that's when you will receive the address.
What dates?
I want to say 24th to the 25th.
Yes, 24th and 25th.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be in Houston. You can come meet Miss Fricreta. Um,
Yeah, we can't wait to
Fricreta,
meet you all. hmm
huh?
I said we can't wait to meet everyone.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, book an appointment, okay? Our appointments are not expensive. They are $50. We are a nonprofit organization, so our costs are affordable. We can legally represent you. I myself am an accredited representative. I can legally represent every case that we take here with USCIS. If for some reason we cannot take your case, because it can happen where, hey, you do need an attorney, reach out to an attorney. Miss Vicreta, she's a caseworker. She can represent you as well. And we'll be there. We'll be in Texas. So if anybody wants to go ahead and book an appointment in the Houston, Texas area, we will be there October 24th and 25th.
We have a question. Let's see. Veronica. Hi, Veronica. With everything that is happening, do you recommend going with a lawyer to the interview? So Veronica, we have been asked this question before, and you know, I have not had any issues with the AOS so far, thank God. Um, if there is something, you know, alarming or something that you're worried about, then definitely, you know, have an attorney attend your appointment with you. If even if it's for a peace of mind, then ultimately the decision is yours. Um, Again, I have had, I want to say close to maybe over 80 um, individuals that have already attended with the new administration have already attended their interviews with no issues. But I always say if you can have an attorney with you. If there's something, you're worried about an arrest or, something along that line, or anything to do with your entries, then definitely have an attorney with you. Um, but ultimately, the decision is yours. Alex, can I still do AP even though my grandparents passed away more than 3 years ago? I think that's a little too late, Alex. What do you think, Ellie?
Yes. Too late. It needs to add another reason.
Reason?
You can add it as supporting, but that's not the strong reason. Need to find another reason.
Yeah. You're welcome, Veronica.
Veronica is one of the OGs. We call them the OGs, one of the old group members. I know I've seen her here for a while.
Well, thank you for being with us.
Yes. Thank you, Veronica. Okay. We have one from Perla. Buenas tardes, Perla. Dice, hola, un gusto saludarlas. Mucho gusto también, Perla. ¿Cuántos años tiene que tener mi hijo para peticionarme? Haré mi AOS el siguiente año cuando cumpla 21, pero solo los ha hecho por un año. El siguiente solo se gradúa su segundo. ¿Se refiere a impuestos? Ok, años de impuestos. Ok, muy bien. Este, Si no ha declarado impuestos porque legalmente no era requerido, no va a haber ningún problema. Tiene que conseguir la carta del primer año que no hizo impuestos porque no estaba requerido legalmente. Se llama Non-Filers Letter, diciendo IRS dice, mira, no tenemos ningún récord para hijo de Perla porque no estaba requerido por ley. Pero si estaba requerido por ley y no los hizo, le recomendamos que arreglen sus impuestos antes de hacer el ajuste. Técnicamente, inmigración solamente está pidiendo el último, que sería el 2024, pero también si ayuda pueden agregar 2022 y 2023, pero técnicamente es el último año. Le recomendamos nada más para ahorrarse de cualquier problema los últimos tres. Este, Tienen que reportar impuestos. Si están haciendo el proceso de ajuste de estatus, tienen que reportar impuestos si están requeridos por ley. A veces las personas no ganaron lo suficiente y no lo tienen que hacer, pero si ganaron lo suficiente y van a estar haciendo impuestos, tienen que declararlos, ¿ok? Espero que eso haya contestado su pregunta. Tax question. It was a tax question, but now is a good time to kind of remind everybody. We're getting close to the end of the year. Now is a good time to remind everybody, especially our clients, if you are going to be doing your adjustment of status, make sure you're filing your taxes correctly. Okay, if you're married, please do not go out there and file single. Okay, very important. If you've not sent in your packet, even if you have sent out your packet but you've still not been approved, don't go out there and file single. Um, it is fraud. It is tax fraud, and especially you don't want to get in trouble with the IRS. You don't want to get in trouble with USCIS. Okay, so just a reminder, everybody, make sure that you are filing correctly. If your tax person is telling you to file single and you're married, and file single because you're going to be getting a bigger refund, run away because that is fraud. Okay. Okay.
Andres, good morning, Andres. Good morning. I have a question. If I am asked during my interview how I arrived and I do not recall since I came when I was 4, will I be penalized? No, you will not. If you don't remember, you don't remember. You were 4. If you have a removal order, please reach out to um, one of our vetted attorneys on our lists, and they will further help you with that. If you have a removal order, please do not submit your AOS packet with the removal order. Um, Reach out to, again, we have a great group of attorneys on our list, which obviously we do not guarantee, green cards. So we don't get, we promote them. We, have had clients that have had a lot of success with them, but not everyone's case is the same. So we do not guarantee, you know what I mean? So we do have a list. So reach out to um, one of our vetted attorneys on the list, and they can further assist you with the removal order. Just please do not submit an AOS packet to USCIS with the removal order in place. Okay. You're welcome, Andre. Okay. Again, I just want to go back and really emphasize on not submitting an AOS packet with a removal order in place. If you don't know, sometimes a lot of individuals are not sure if they have a removal order or not. Go back and speak to your parents. Um, you know, Speak to them about the initial entry when you were younger. Were they ever caught? Was anything ever signed? Um, you know, really find these facts out. Um, well, these details out. We don't know if they're facts, but these details out. It's very, very important. If you're unsure of whether you have a removal order or not, file a FOIA. There is a website you can go on. It's called Automatic Case Information. You can put in your A number and um, check if you have any removal orders that way. But obviously, there's no guarantee. So again, do not submit an AOS packet with a removal order. If you're unsure if you have a removal order or not, file a FOIA. You can also check the Automatic Case Information website as well. But just do not solely rely on that itself. I would say file a FOIA and go back and speak to, you know, anyone you can to gather more details about your case, um, you know, of when you entered. This is no time to be taking any chances. So if for some reason you think maybe there's a removal order in place, check by filing a FOIA because this is no time to file an AOS case with a removal order in place. And if you choose to do so, there are ways. Just proceed with an attorney.
That's right. I want to add to that fee, if I can, that if your case is very, very, very complicated, right now may not be the best time to file it. Again, we do want to say that with the prior administration, there probably were things that were being overlooked. That's just the way things are, right? But with this administration, we are seeing that they are wanting to double check. They are questioning everything. They're looking more in depth to some of these cases. And if you have a complicated case, if there's something there in doubt in your immigration history, it's probably best to just continue to renew DACA, lay low. Once a new administration comes in, then it may be when you can submit your AOS. We know everybody wants to get their green card, but it's probably not safe for everybody. So when in doubt, make sure that you do have an attorney that can guide you. A trusted attorney, okay? Very important, trusted attorney. Not every immigration attorney is great. So make sure you do have a trusted attorney. Do your research, what type of attorneys they are, what type of cases they've handled, are they trustworthy? So we do have a list. We can't guarantee any outcomes, but just make sure you're kind of covering all aspects for submitting.
And there's on another note, something I really want to touch base before we go. Um, we do not recommend that anyone, um, promotes anyone that's outside of the group, any notaries, any attorneys, even translations. Um, we we are not liable, you know, for these promotions. And please follow the rules and do not promote anyone outside of our list of attorneys. It's very, very important.
And I'm glad you brought that up because we say this too. Private messages, please do not private message. And that includes myself, that includes Ficreta, that includes Vanessa, the CEO, that includes our moderators. Please do not private messages because you don't know if maybe I have a fake account and it's not even me. You're sending me your personal information. I get a lot of messages and I do not respond to messages. And if you send messages to our moderators or um, admins, for Dreamers Together, you're not going to get a reply either. If you really want to speak to somebody that is with the Dreamers Together, the only way you're going to know is if you go to our website and book an appointment there, because you don't know at the end of the day where your information is going to come. And that's the reason why we have these rules set in place. We don't want your
Yes.
information to end up where it's not supposed to be. Not everybody is here for the group. Not everybody is here for your best interest. I've seen a lot of things, and believe me, it doesn't take much for them to take your identity, to steal your identity. They only need three things to take your identity, okay? I'm not going to tell you what they need, but it doesn't take that much. So, very careful. Don't share your information. Don't share your receipt numbers. Don't share your name, address. If you want to book an appointment with me, Miss Ficreta, book a consultation through Dreamers Together. That's the only safe way that you know that you actually got us, because you never know whose intention. People don't have the same intentions that we have, and it doesn't take long for them to clone a Facebook page and act like they're me and they're asking for money, and it's
Correct.
not even me. So
Yeah.
we don't do Facebook messages.
Let's all stay safe and let's enjoy the group and continue helping each other out.
Yes,
You have any questions? Go in there and submit your question. We have moderators in there. We are in there ourselves as well. We'll take a look. We'll answer. Just please make sure, obviously, that they're appropriate. But we're all in there, guys. We're all in this together. So let's get through these next few years. Let's continue working, as a group and continue being there for each other.
yes, a safe environment. Please don't get kicked out of the group because you can't follow the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, we
All
would
right.
hate that, but rules are rules. So, anything else you want to cover, fee credit, before we go?
No, I think we've covered pretty much all that we can for today, and we'll see you guys, next week. So have your questions ready. Um, Other than that, we are excited for Houston. So we can't wait to see you guys there. And again, if you would like to book your consultation, go on to our website, book your consultation, and then you'll receive some more information from there. What about you, Ellie?
No, I think we're good. I hope, we can meet a lot of people in Houston.
Yeah.
I know
Yes.
the community needs the help, so we'll be there.
Yes. Um, we have two more questions, Ellie. Would Let's just cover them before you go. Okay. All right, Alex. So this is an AP question. Um, what do you think on this? All should we just refer them to the appropriate group for this one, or should we just give them? If not safe, I got a removal order and do AP. We're trying to do AP with a removal order. I can tell you on this, and obviously Ellie can too because she is a pro at this, that we have had people travel with removal orders in the past. Okay, now whether you want to travel with the removal order on AP, that is your decision. We can't obviously advise you to do so. That is your decision. I personally, um, I would not travel right now. I would. I'm being honest. I would not travel right now with a removal order unless I really had to, get that legal entry. But I wouldn't do it. What about you, Ellie? You probably have a different point of view on this.
So I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit because I think Alex is talking about two different things. So, and this is kind of why we prefer consultations sometimes, because when we do lives, a lot of information can be misinterpreted. And I'm gonna go back to, let's rewind, Alex. The first
Oh,
question
oh,
that
okay.
he
I'm
had.
sorry. Oh, he had
No, no,
another
no.
one
You're
prior.
fine. You were fine. You were fine. You
Okay.
actually answered what the question was, but I think he's a little bit, I'm not sure. Let's go back. It says, "Can I still do AP even though my grandparents passed away more than 3 years?" And we answered to that, no. Okay. And then his next question was, if I have a removal order, how can I get it removed? What is the safest way to get it removed? And you mentioned reach out to an attorney.
Attorney.
So
Yes.
But now the question is, so is it not safe? I got a removal order and to do AP. So that wasn't the question that we answered, okay? The other questions we answered. Now this is a third question we have. So I think he's mixing up the order of the processes. Generally it's safe. I will agree with you. Generally it was safe to do AP with a removal order. But you can't get the removal order just to get it removed with AP. You
No,
have to
the
go to
AP
an
will not
attorney. There
clear
has
your removal order. Absolutely not.
No, it will not.
I think what I
But
would say today's I'm sorry, go ahead, Ellie.
no, I was gonna say, but if you need this removal, if you need this AP, this legal entry in order to start working on your removal order, then do AP. If you don't need that legal entry, if legal entry is not going to help that removal order, you may want to think about it. Do I want to travel now and risk it or not? Um, but I think there's just a lot of information there that.
Yeah. I think to be honest right now, if you need that legal entry, all right, so say an individual has a removal order and they weren't able to because they don't have that legal entry. Then speak to an attorney if you're concerned. You know, if you're able to get that legal entry and you come back and now you want to adjust through your spouse um, or through your child, then you're going to need that legal entry to file the first part of your AOS, you know, in order to have an attorney deal with that whole removal. So there is a process here, guys. I personally want to say if you're concerned about traveling with deportation, but you need to travel because you need that legal entry for AOS. And if you're concerned, reach out to an attorney because like Ellie said, some people need to travel because they need that legal entry for their AOS process, especially those with removal orders. Um, if you are concerned, I would say definitely reach out to an attorney. Again, now let's fast forward to that question of should I do AP if I have a removal order? Generally, in the past, individuals have, but moving forward, I would just say just consult an attorney to be safe.
Hmm. Yeah. I haven't seen anybody with issues with this administration, but again, this administration is not really playing by the rules, so we never know. So there were
You
a
never,
couple of parts to that question. So we
yeah,
want to make sure that we cover all the parts to it. But yeah, if you have a removal order and you kind of just want to make sure,
yeah. I
cons
mean,
consult.
you know, people are still traveling. Okay, they're still doing AP, they're still traveling, they're getting their legal entries. So if it's something concerning, definitely reach out to an attorney, especially if you need that legal entry, to pursue AOS through your spouse and to take care of that removal order. That's a whole chapter that you definitely want to deal with an attorney. So reach out to our list. Reach out to one of the attorneys on our list. They'll be able to help you out. Have a
Yeah,
consultation. It's worth it. Okay. Um, before you before you do anything, just book a consultation with one
most
of our vetted
definitely.
attorneys. Okay. You know what? A few more and then we have to go, guys. So let's see. Elisa, our first time AP is getting approved at all. They are getting approved. It's just taking a while. Um, Ali, would you like to chime in on that?
Yes. We have seen them slow down. Okay, now there's nothing written where they're saying we're not going to be approving APs. Nothing that we've seen. Now they can say internally, they can say all these things internally. Okay. Um, we've not seen anything written where they're specifically saying if this is your first time AP, you don't have a legal entry. I was actually reading on Facebook right now that somebody that they already did have a legal entry. They've traveled with AP before. They went and they did info pass in I think it was Texas. I'm not sure if it was Houston, but they did info pass and it got approved today.
Yeah.
Give it a try. If you still want to travel, give it a try, okay? The worst that can happen is that you lose 630 and they never approve us, but I don't think
A-
that's going to happen.
And right now, people have to understand that USCIS is so unpredictable. Okay, you give it a try. You'd be surprised. It might work out to your advantage. So it depends obviously on which officer you get, um, and you have to obviously get to that info pass appointment. Okay, Alex. So for your questions, if I do dental for AP, I mean, is still safe to travel with removal order? Um, we are basically rewinding ourselves, going back to what we said earlier. In the past, individuals have traveled with removal orders with AP. Um, Moving forward, these are a few questions I think that you should really reach out to our attorney. Okay, go to our list and book a consultation with one of our attorneys. Okay. Moving forward, we don't know. We don't know what I told you. USCIS, they are so this new administration is so unpredictable. We don't know. Um, but people are still traveling on AP, okay? And people are still getting removals. It's just they're taking a lot longer. The timelines are a lot longer. You're welcome, Alex. I hope everything works out for you. Just please book a consultation with one of our attorneys from our lists.
Do you want to give this one?
Yes, Manuel, you may not have an answer to this, but my lawyer is advising me that it would be 8,000 for AOS. Does that seem accurate, or should I get a second opinion? You can book a consultation with us and we can further evaluate your case to see if we can take it on. As a nonprofit organization, our prices are fairly priced. Um, that's all I really can advise you on that question. I can't, you know, answer if your attorney is fair pricing you or not.
I will say, what all are they doing for $8,000 though? I do have to
Depends.
ask more questions. I'm sorry. What are they
I
doing for
think,
$8,000?
yeah, I think at our, once we have that consultation, we can sit down and have a chat about it.
You'll be surprised. For
Yeah.
pricings, reach out to us. Book an
Yes.
appointment.
Especially if it's for like a general AOS case, book an appointment, reach out, and we'd be able to further guide you from there. Elisa, hi, Elisa. Husband is first time with husband is first time AP and send it back in March. He has no legal entry, so thank you for the answer. Oh, you're very welcome. Oh, so she must be indicating that his AP is still pending. Yeah,
Hmm.
since March. END, do you guys recommend to do the I-130 online and send the rest via mail, or send everything via mail for AOS? I personally, I like to just send it as one big packet. Just to know that one officer has everything. But there are some cases where we would have to do the I-130 online. So, I mean, it depends on your preference, Yanni, but I personally would send the whole packet together. What about
I
you,
like
Ellie?
everything together.
Yeah.
Yes, I like everything together. You just do it all. You print it, you sign it.
Hmm.
They have everything. They can't say we lost the I-130. Where's the they can't
Yeah,
say any of that. And I've seen that they kind of move faster when everything is sent together. So you only are
correct.
saving like $50 online, which to me is not worth it.
Hmm.
Um, I prefer everything online at one time.
And for those of you that have filed
I'm
your
sorry,
I-130
by
online,
mail.
just now you're getting ready to send the rest of your packet via mail, just add in that receipt for that I-130 that you did file online. Okay.
Yes, I meant to say I prefer everything to be sent via paper mail, not online,
Yes.
via paper
Paper
mail.
mail. Yeah. But
Yes,
as I
we had some
mentioned,
good questions today.
yeah, as I mentioned, if you did already file the I-130 online, just take that receipt and add it to your packet and send everything by mail. Yeah, we did. Can't wait to. I love AOS questions, so please get them ready for next week. Um,
Alex.
okay. Let's see. All right. So one more tip before we go, guys. If any of your medical exams were um, signed before, I think it was July 3rd, for the old edition date, right? Let me just check
On
because
or before July 2nd.
oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Ollie. Yeah, if any of your medical exams with the old edition date were signed on or before July 2nd, they are still valid. If you have the old edition date and they are signed after July 2nd, you have to go on to USCIS, print out the new edition date for the I-693, and take it back to the civil surgeon. Okay. Again, if your civil surgeon signed your um, old edition date forms, the I-693, the old edition date before July 2nd, on or before July 2nd, then they are still valid. If you had the old edition date for the I-693 and they are signed after July 2nd, you have to go on to the USCIS website, print out a new I-693 with the new edition date, and go back to the civil surgeon, have them fill it out and sign it with the new edition. Again, they were accepting the old edition dates as long as the civil surgeon had signed on or before July 2nd. If the civil surgeon signs after July 2nd, then you need to use um, the new edition date, I-693, which you can find on the USCIS website. And obviously, they have more information on this in there as well. Okay. Oh, you see, we got that question for the medical exam. How much of a time do we have after we do our medical exam? Okay. Again, we just explained that with the old edition date of the I-693, as long as they're signed on or before July 2nd, you're fine. If your old edition date is signed after July 2nd, then you need to print out the new edition date of 1/20/25, correct, Ellie?
Yes, and also to add to that, if they were completed after November, I'm trying to remember what year, I'm looking back because they're valid indefinitely. I am looking for the date. Very important. We need to get the correct dates. If your surgeon, so of course you want to make sure, like Fikreta says, you want to make sure which edition you need, okay? So you want to make sure that your edition, but you also want to make sure when it was signed. If it was signed after November 1 of 2023, then
Mm-hmm.
it's valid indefinitely. If it was signed before November 1 of 2023, you want to get it updated as well. So also there's two things you're looking for, edition date and the validity of the actual exam that was completed. But after November 1 of 2023, and definitely as long as you're on the correct edition date. If that
Correct.
makes sense, it's a little bit confusing.
Well, I mean, no, it's not confusing because they're still signed on or before July 2nd. So with the old edition dates, as long as they're signed on or before July 2nd, you're fine. The new edition date 1/20/25, they will not take a civil surgeon signature after July 2nd.
Correct. But for example, I will say this because I do have a case of somebody that came. They had done their medical exam and I think it was like April of 2023. Okay. And they had sent their packet to a USCIS, but they had sent it on old form. So USCIS sent the whole packet back to them. So after that first rejection from USCIS, they just gave up altogether and they're like, you know what? I'm not even going to send my packet in. This was in April of 2023. Now they come back and we are in, this was last month. So what was last month? August? August of 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is is that medical exam still good? No. Even though it was on that old edition, it's no longer good because it was signed before November 1 of 2023. So now they really do have to get it updated. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Because
will say, yeah,
before November of 23, they were valid for 2 years.
correct. Yeah. So I can see. I had to really think about that one. Because like with
There's
my
like,
medical exam, I was like,
yeah.
wait, I really, really have to think about this one because what edition is it? When was it signed?
Hmm.
So you just want to make sure.
Yep. I always just say I want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to understand. So if it was signed on, like Ellie said, or before July 2nd, old edition date. New edition date of 1/20/25, just please make sure it's signed um,
Hmm.
after July 2nd.
Yes. And when in doubt, don't put us your medical exam there, but just put, the bottom one. It's the bottom. Put the edition date and let us know when was it signed, when was it completed, and we can let
Yep.
you know, yes, it's still good or you need to do it.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
USCIS either way, if it's no longer valid, they will send you an RFE for
Yeah,
it.
they will. And again, the new edition date, well, I'm sorry, the old edition date, as long as it's signed on or before July 2nd. That's just let's just keep it as that so that way you guys can remember that If it's the old edition date, just make sure it's signed on July 2nd, on or before July 2nd.
Hmm. Yes,
Okay, I think we covered a few things today.
we
Um,
covered a lot.
yeah, I just really want to stress that please, if you have a removal order, please, before you do anything with AOS, reach out to an attorney. Um, if you guys like, you can also book a Q&A with us. You can speak to us about your situation, and we'll let if we can take your case, or if we can, or if you're still worried, again, we will let you know that, okay, we should refer you out to an attorney, or we can take your case. Just please don't try to do your AOS yourself with a removal order.
Ye-
Our advice, obviously, if you have a removal order and you book a Q&A with us, we would definitely obviously refer you out, but we have a great list of attorneys that can help you. Okay. um so anything else you'd like to add before we go, Ellie?
Have your questions ready for next week.
Yes.
I
Okay.
think I don't have anything else.
I don't think I have anything else on my end. I guess one more thing is, when you do come to us for consultations, we do ask about arrests. So please have that paperwork ready. We would like to take a look at it. Okay. We can't make a decision on your case if you don't have that paperwork, so we can take a look if you did have arrests. Yendi, our next live is next week on Wednesday, same time. Okay. And we have had so many good questions today that we're like, okay, we don't want to go 5 more minutes, but we know we have to go. Um, I did have a question. I did have someone ask me, we just got married 2 days ago. When can we start our AOS process? You can start your AOS process right away, because let me tell you, AOS is not an overnight thing. It takes some time. For those of you that have worked with us, when you do receive your packet, you see how much work goes into these packets, from forms to evidence to cover letters to marital evidence. Okay. Start working on your form, start working on gathering, what you need for your packet. And as you're going 2 months in now, you will have some marital evidence. Okay. I don't think they expect you to have a whole lot for being married for 2 months, but it's better to give them something than nothing, because they will RFE you. Okay. You can even backtrack. Some of you have been living together for a while, grab those leases, add them to your packet along with your most current. Okay. So you can start on your AOS process even though you just got married. It just takes time to build that marital evidence. Um, so build it. Okay. You know, utility bills, employment benefits, Zelle transactions, bank account, credit card. As you're working on your AOS case and you're a month or two in, or maybe even three, or maybe even longer for some of you, you will have some marital evidence to submit to USCIS. So if you get married, if you're, or, tomorrow, or you got married today, you can't start your AOS process, because again, you start by gathering the documentation and by working on the forms and by working on your marital evidence. So I just wanted to throw
The
that little
medical exam. The medical
correct.
exam. I've had
Medical
some
exam.
clients say,
Yes.
hey, like the clinic is giving me the runaround. I've already paid them and they're giving me the runaround. So that's also something you can go ahead and start working on.
Yeah. Mhm. I've had clients do their miracle. No, miracle. It's been a long day. I've had clients complete their medical and they weren't even married yet.
Yeah,
If you want to do that, that's
parents,
fine too.
same. Before
Go
their
get
child
your
turns
medical
21.
done, because again, as you're building your packet and working on these forms, you're also building marital evidence. And these packets are not overnight things. So don't think, oh, I just got married, I can't do it, it's too early. No. You just got
Mm-mm.
married, work on building your marital evidence, because by the time you wrap that packet up, you'll be a good month or two in with,
Yes.
quite a few items to submit to USCIS in terms of marital evidence.
I can't tell you how many times I'm like, okay, this is the day that I am going to release this packet and it's going to go to the client and I'm giving it one review. And I'm like, I didn't notice this. It's like little things, but every time it takes time, right, to review to make sure that everything. And once I'm giving that one final review and I'm looking here and I'm like, I overlooked this. Let me go
Yes,
back. So yeah, it takes time. I wish it didn't take as much time, which of course we don't take a lot of time. I will say we have a really good turnaround time.
we
Okay,
do.
I'm sorry. We
We
have
do.
a really good turnaround time.
Yes,
I hope everybody can agree with that. If you're been our client,
we
you can
do.
agree with that. Um, but yeah, they take time. So go ahead and start working on it. It's not a 1 day, 2 day thing, unfortunately. It'll take a few weeks. And
Correct.
I say this as somebody that does this every single day. You do this every single day, and we still come across what
Yes.
now I have to backtrack a little bit.
Okay, Ellie, I think it's time to go, but let's finish up. Whatever we have all the way down to the very last one, which will be the 1201. So, in sheep, I don't know what. Um,
He's talking about AP.
okay.
Me mandaron con dos hojas con cuál me quedo y cuál enseño. Las dos son parte de la aprobación, va a enseñar las dos y técnicamente le tienen que regresar las dos. Ahora, mi pregunta es, ¿tiene entradas múltiples o entradas de una vez nada más? Si son entradas múltiples, le tienen que regresar. Si es solamente una entrada, a veces no le regresan la hoja. So, déjeme saber, pero son dos hojas, es la aprobación. He's asking about AP. He got two sheets. Which one does he show them and which one does he keep? He doesn't keep any. He shows both, and they may or may not return them back whenever he's coming back in, depending if he has a USCIS. I'm sorry, depending if he has multiple entries or single entries.
Hi, Gloria. Happy Wednesday to yourself. Okay, Manuel. Let's see. Great information. Where can I find the list of forms to fill out? Go into our AOS Facebook group, okay, and then we can help you out in there. We have lots of information in there that will help you determine what types of forms you need. Okay, the last one for today. Okay, thank you. All right, Yendi. We'll do. Okay, great, Yendi. All right. So it is time for us to go, guys. But if you need any more information, or if you don't know what forms you need to use for your AOS case, please head on over to our, you know, AOS Facebook group and throw your questions in there. We'll be able to help you out. You can literally type it into AOS forms, and a whole bunch of information will pop up for you as well. So any if you need any more information on the forms, go into our AOS Facebook group. We have lots of information in there that will benefit you. All right, Ellie, I think it's time for us to go. All right, everyone, have yourselves a great day. Um, have your questions ready, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.